Tony for eModels.co.uk. Welcome to part 6 of the Rossi. I think it's part 6 of the Rossi build. Alright, paints list. I don't normally do these, and I get yelled at in the comments on my own channel for not doing the paints list and things like this. So here we go. Primed with Vallejo Surface Primer. If you use this stuff, give it at least 3 days to fully go off completely, because it's a polyurethane, which is actually a resin, so it does take a little bit longer to dry than you would like. But that is actually that colour there. It's not actually white, it's grey, and it's a lovely colour. So I always tend to use something along these lines anyway for my whites, because it's that close to white. It's like a dirty off white. I go on a little bit of a rant about white and black in the video itself. I'll leave that for when you get there. What I normally do is, for white, I would use the lightest grey I've got, followed with white oil paints, which, like I say, you'll see in the video. So enough swaddling with that. We'll go with French blue for, let's get his backside in. French blue for the light blue sections of the outfit. And we actually started base coating with French blue on the, well, you can see all the dark blue areas. Just because the instructions were telling us we needed a light blue, which is that. Now again, I go on a little bit of a rant about instructions and being a guide and things like that. That's the key word, it's a guide. There is nothing in these instructions saying that you must follow the exact shades of paint. Now again, I'll get to it in the video properly, but it's telling me there that I need a light blue when I actually needed a ridiculously dark blue like that. So I make the mistakes so you don't have to. Oh, made on the light. Oh, cracking. So we started off base coating with the French blue. I know it's making no sense whatsoever this so far, which is Model 71088. So we ended up using that for the light blue instead, but we did all the base coating for the dark blues. Yeah, the dark blue itself has settled with Signal Blue, which is Model 71091. And then for the yellow, I've used this god awful snotty colour, which is from the Vallejo game colour range. It's a beautiful colour, and as you can see, it comes up quite nicely. I like that. Oh, so that was that one. For the black, I've actually used a really dark grey. Again, I'll go on a little bit of a rant. There's no such thing as white and black in real life. It's all shades. No, stop. So that's Model 71054. And then from the amazing MiG 502 Abteilung range, we've got white for the white highlights. We've got German 3-tone fading for the yellow highlights. Again, I explain all this properly in the video. The Gundam blue, you can't quite make that out because of the yellow and black background. And they said white and red for some reason. Why did my brain nearly say white and red? So that's Gundam blue and good old Starship Filth. I know you can't get it anywhere because it's always sold out. Because it is that good. And we use that for an oil wash, which is drying away nicely. It's evaporated actually. So same as we did with the bike, and the details on that, as you can just about make out here, gives us that lovely panel line detail. Where is it? There we go. Panel line details. So it's just a pin wash, and I'll talk through that in the video as well, so don't worry about that. So there's your paints list, rough and ready. I hate doing paints list because I don't do paints list. I just grab things and go with it, because I'm not that organised, I'm not that planny. I hate planning, it's rubbish. Spent half my working life planning, I don't like it. Stop, right, pause here, make yourself a brew, and let's get settled in for the painting.
Alright, so the primer has dried by the look of it. It's not the best, but I really do need to start cracking on with this now. I've spent far too long faffing about with him. So what we're going to do now is just get the paint on, get the decals on, which should take care of everything. And by the time I finish with it, you'll be too busy going, wow, look at that, to worry about seam lines and things like that. That's what I'm hoping anyway. But we've hit We've hit an interesting dilemma now, If you have a look at the instructions on this part here, on the leg, on the dark part, it's telling me to mix 10 parts of primary blue with 1 part white. Now, I used primary blue, if you remember, on the Yamaha build itself. I broke the catch there, so it's all wobbly. That's actually X4 here, which is slightly lighter than the darker decal. We've got the same problem now with these decals here. That decal there is visibly darker than X4. So if I'm supposed to lighten this a little bit, it's going to be too light for that. Interesting little dilemma that is. So, I'm going to ignore the instructions. I'm going to go with French blue instead. I'm going to use Model Air, because I prefer brush painting this than Tamiya paints anyway. I'm not going to mask anything up, I'm just going to brush paint everything. And it's going to make people scratch their heads and go, well, what's he doing? But trust me, once we start getting the paint on and start getting weathered and things like that, it'll look better. But, some of these decals are a bit iffy to start with by the look of it. I mean, I've got to try and wrap this fella here. Got to try and wrap all that around here, follow that line there, and follow this line. No, that's too much messing, that. Far too much messing. So, we're going to try and paint it instead. Yeah, I know. Not because I can't do the decals, but because... Where's my brush gone? There's my brush. Yeah, because we're going to have more control over this with the paint. Now, Model Air, just because it says Model Air on the front, doesn't mean that you have to stick it in the airbrush. I absolutely love painting this stuff. It's going to look spotty at first, as you'll see in a second. It won't go on straight away, and yes, it does look horribly bright. Trust me, it's going to be fine. There's at least 3 of you out there now going, oh my god, he's doing this wrong. Trust me. So I'm just going to brush paint all this down here. I say, just because it says on the bottle, Model Air, don't be put off by that. You can actually brush paint these. It's actually easier to brush paint with these than it is with Tamiya stuff. Tamiya stuff does tend to evaporate as you're working with it. And all of a sudden you get to a stage like this now, and it starts to get into all that clumpy, groupy stuff, and you've got to start thinning it down then. I'll get a couple of coats of this on, and it'll look alright. There's absolutely nothing in that instructions that says because this is a Tamiya kit, you must use Tamiya paints. That there is a guide. That's the key word, it's a guide. It just gives you a clue to what should be going where. So, if I find his legs, where's his legs gone? Just to line things up. There's his legs. Come on, line up. Oh, come on, we're on telly. darkerish. So what I need to do now is just line that part up on its backside. Oh, well, you stop your nonsense, you. Right. The keen-eyed amongst you as well will have noticed by now that I've not actually painted white on this yet. Doesn't exist in real life. You should only ever use white as a highlight. And your base coat should be the lightest grey you can find. Same with black. Don't ever use black for black. Use the darkest grey you can find, and you can use black then as your shadow. Excuse me. It's a great technique. And if we look at black in real life, if you take my black Labrador as an example, if you look at her in certain lights, she's actually a very, very light blue, dark blue. And if you look at my girlfriend's cat, which is supposed to be black, in certain sunlight, when he's sat there in the window, posing himself, he's actually a really, really dark brown. There we go. So if this does try that again, does prove to be too light, at least now I've got an idea of where the lines are. I can go back with a darker blue. It's never a problem. Oh, shaky hand. There we go. So there's the first couple of lines in as a start. We'll do this one here as well. Again, this should be a decal, but since we're doing this blue, we're painting this blue, we might as well stay with it. So I'm kind of cheating by not using the kit decals, but this is therapeutic. I like this. My intention was always to use just the logos on this figure. Oh yeah, that was fun. So they give you a picture of him standing up, but they don't tell you where the lines are when he's sat down. It's quite freaky. So, as sloppy as that looks, trust me, it's only a guide coat. It's just a base. Oh, hang on, okay, get that sorted out now. Oh, there we go. So, that'll look even better once we get a second coat on it. But it's just a rough guide to let me know where things are. That's not the final product. So, let's have a talk about this yellow, because the instructions are telling me to mix primary yellow with white and things like that. Now we've got this stuff already pre-made. I'm not getting enough about. And as horrible as that looks, and it is god awfully nasty, I'll tell you what, it's not that far off them decals. And if I have a look at the bike as well, it's not far off, you know. So I'm going to use that instead of mixing some yellow. As god awful as that looks. Now I actually bought that for the fireman, for this reflective strip for the lettering, and there was something else as well. His helmet's got reflective panels too. Never had a chance to use it, so I will here. Let's say it's not that far off them decals. It's not that far away, you know. So we'll go with that. Once all this is dried, then I can figure out what's what with it. Oh, I did. I put that in wet paint. Magic. Hey. Oh, live telly. Yeah, don't adjust your sets. I actually forgot to record this part whilst I was doing it. I'll be using Signal Blue for the next part because the French blue we were using was a little bit too light. I needed to go with a darker shade, so we've ended up settling for the Signal Blue, which is the Model S 71091. Yeah, I forget to record these things. I'm silly like that. So yeah, carry on.
Right, so I'm just having a look at the light blue we've got to use now. I'm going to go back to the French blue for the time being. I'm just going to grab this. So it should be touch dry now. Just going off my little photograph here. I'm just going to see what that looks like. So I'm just going to throw a tiny little bit of French blue in this corner here. Oh, hang on, don't despair yet. Right, so if I follow that line there we go. It's a little easier with French blue. There's French blue. So we follow this bit here. Can you still see that? Yeah, lovely. I'm going to twist and drag this time to get the fine point rather than the chisel edge to the brush. I'm going to follow that line there. Just comes around here to this bit here. Get a view showing the way. Whistling shot, just about. I've got my tongue sticking out and everything out the corner of my mouth there. There we go. I'll come in for that piece just here. I genuinely don't know if this is reinforcement leather or material, or whether it's like a stretchy elastic type thing. So if you bike guys out there could let me know, because this is the kind of thing that keeps me awake at night. Does that serve a purpose? Has it got a form and function? So that's that bit, and then we'll come in with the yellow around here, apparently. Just catch that edge there. Do we see that? Yeah, so the yellow comes in around here-ish. So I'm just gonna try and cop for that on this side. So I've got a beautiful thick edge there. To. I just had not knocking on the door downstairs. Ah, dear. Just about make out the line goes here-ish. I've gone quiet again, sorry. Just more French blue, there it is. go, so that's that bit. Swap over for the legs in a second. Let's make sure we've got everything. So that's that. Yep, swap for the legs now. Put that down carefully there. Swap for the legs. Swap for the legs. Come here. Oh yeah, come here. Right. So on the legs, definitely there. Right, I'm just going to go away and do some homework on that because I can't quite make out the lines, so I'll be back in a second. Right. Luckily I've got a couple more pictures here to help us out. So I've got the gloves, we made that out, and we've got those leathers there. Those leathers are completely different. Magic. So if you look at those leathers there, and these ones, completely different shades of blue again. Brilliant. That's no help whatsoever. What's we got there? Oh, that's something else. Magic. Right. So definitely this leg anyway. The one that's really bent over. I can definitely say. Oh my god. The dog's knocking stuff over. Left, right, centre. She's still got that corner of her head. Oh dear. She's knocking everything over. So, definitely there. One shot. It's a bit awkward to get your hand in there because this foot's in the way. Definitely there, which then makes up here. Where I'm going to have trouble is in the bum area. But having said that, he's seated anyway, so we're not going to really see that part. So I'm going to call that part in. And then all I'm going to do is follow this line around here, like so. I'll leave the white patch there as white. So there's some decals there at the bottom anyway. So yeah, they don't exactly help us with this. They give us a diagram of a stood up Valentino and then gives a figure that's bent down, which isn't exactly helpful. So going off that, we've got a blue there, comes into that seam line there. It's going to be there-ish by the look of it. Definitely comes around this part. So what we'll do then is we'll colour in this part around here. Worst comes to the worst, I can always reprime this and go again. It's not a massive problem. Definitely around here. top of that ribbing. And this is where the fun begins, because now we start getting some tight angles. And a wobbly hand, yay! That's always a good sign. There's a plonk them down there a second. One there around there. So about there-ish for now. And it looks like there's a seam there, so I'm going to go with that. Colour this part here. Yeah, so it looks like there's a seam there. Like so. So if you did stand up, all that would straighten out by the look of it. Or it's close enough to what the diagram shows. Like so. There we go. Right, so I'm going to leave that for about an hour to dry off and see what that looks like. And then if need be, we'll give that a second go. But I'm happy enough with that now. I think. So I can crack on and carry on doing what we're doing. And if that does turn out to be a little bit too light, I've got darker shades that I can play about with. And things like that. None of that messing about, mixing paints. Get the pre-made stuff. It's a lot easier. Right, so give that about an hour and we'll see what's what. Right, this is where the real fun begins. Now I'm going to be roll testing one of these army painter brushes. And they've got a triangular shaft to them, which is a little bit confusing straight away. I'm used to these round shafts, and that just feels odd straight away. But we'll go with it, we'll see what happens. And we'll get some of this snotty yellow one now. This is where the real fun begins. Oh my giddy aunt, that's yellow. Oh my. Right, let's wet this down a little bit with water and see what kind of damage we can create. So I'm just going to do a thin coat for the time being, just to get it on there and see what we can do. I'm going to do this knee pad first. Oh my god, that's yellow. Be careful not to throw too much on there, because we've got this engraved detail on the knee pad itself. Oh dear lord, that is yellow. But we get a couple of coats of that on. That's not going to look too far off, you know. I can see that now. Actually, this brush isn't as bad as it first feels. It's actually quite comfy on the hand. And you can always go down to the, the real shaft if we need to. I've got to be careful now with the runnage. Do you know, there's a part of me that actually wants to use a highlighter pen for this. Come on the opposite direction for that part there. I went quite out on you again then. I do apologise. Right, so that boot's going to be black apparently, so we're going to swap the clip over this side. Oops, don't get it on the end of your finger. You can shush. Beeping outside. I'm filming, for crying out loud. Oh my god, that is yellow. Yeah, I'll give you a... I don't know. Let me think. I'll give you a 7-minute warning. Why not? 7 minutes. Go get some sunglasses ready. So I have a feeling when I come back to do the second coat for this fella, it's going to get very loud very quickly. Oh my word. Oh my word. Get the inside of there as well. Touch that knee pad in. No one's too bothered. There's like a little rim here that needs to go in black afterwards. We'll catch all that when we do the detail work. Once all the bulk colour's on. Well, I say black, I'll be using the really dark grey for it. Same with the boot as well. There's going to be a lot of black going on around it, so I'm just going to block everything out in this god awful yellow. It doesn't too matter, you know, it doesn't matter too much if I go a little bit over the lines on the boot. So I've got to detail it anyway. You know, it's not a bad brush, this. The bristles are absolutely glorious. Yeah, and as far as your paintbrushes go, just like your airbrushes, just if you can afford to, spend that little bit extra. Especially with your brushes, your paintbrushes, these brushes. Spend a little bit more. These are actually quite a reasonable price compared to the other ones I've been using, the Citadel brushes. They can be quite expensive now. The bristles on these are absolutely perfect. Bear in mind, this is the first time I've actually used one. I'm impressed. I am impressed. And that triangle is actually quite comfy. I'm impressed with that. Oh, good grief, that is yellow. Oh my word. No, we'll go with it. I'm committed now. And as awful as that looks, we can tone that down if we need to. With oil paints, it's not a problem. It's not a huge problem at all. So if you can, like I say, go with the pre-mix stuff rather than sitting there worrying whether you've made too much or not. Or, yeah, if you've made enough even, not too much. I'll get my words out properly in a minute. Just use a bit more water there just to thin that down a little bit more. And then we come from the armpit here. Right down. Unfortunately, we've managed to get a little bit of blue there, so I might have to touch that in with the primer again, just to get rid of that. Which won't be a problem at all. So that's that bit, and then we're coming for this arm here. So again, coming from the armpit. And then come all the way down. Do you know, this is so relaxing. I'm enjoying this. That's the old one sleeves done. I think that's it for the upper torso. By the look of it. Yeah. Seems to be. Right, where have you gone? Crocking dial clip there. Bob your foot to the side here. And then if I can remember where I put his gloves, there's his gloves. Now for the gloves themselves, I'm actually going to paint the whole thing yellow, even though there are some white parts on there. So that's going to be a straightforward paint job, it's just yellow. So I'll speed through this part. Bad little brush that. I like them. So that's now got the Helgan 35 seal of approval, that brush from Army Painter. I like them. I like them a lot. So I've been using proper acrylics. There we go, from Game Colour. They're by Vallejo as well. I think, are they? Yep, Vallejo, whatever it is. So yeah. Can clean that up with water instead of X20A. Oh, there we go. And the same again with brush care. Resist the temptation to grab your bristles and then start twisting, because that's the best way of yanking all your bristles out. Give it a quick rub. There we go. Lovely and dry, no paint transfer. Just check towards where the ferrule is, this metal part. Just make sure you've got no paint knocking about in there. If you do, it's not a problem. Just go back, give yourself another rinse. Quick twist against the side of your jar, but don't go putting any pressure on there. There we go, that's better. Quick rub, quick dry. Rub towards the bristles with your pulling and twisting, but don't actually grab the bristles when you do that, because like I say, it's the best way of yanking them all out. Job done. Lovely. I like that brush. You need some of those. You need some of those. Hang on, I'll go put my cloak on. You need some of those. Not only do you need some of those, available from eModels.co.uk. I nearly forgot. Well, I did forget, and then I had to do another click. No, stop it. Just get on with it.
Right, so because I don't believe in using a true black for anything, unless it's really, really dark shadows and things like that, I'm going to be using this RLM 74 dark grey, which is really, really, really dark, and then once you add a wash of black over the top of that, you can pick out all kinds of shadows and things like that, and you can do a little bit of highlighting as well with a lighter grey, just to give that tonal variation so it's not just black, which is boring as hell, it really is. So I'll be using that for, let me see. So it's things like this boot panel at the back, the heel somewhere, yeah, there we go, so it's XF1, wherever it calls out for that, so it's the little buffer pad there for the levers on the bike. I don't know, you guys are laughing at me because I don't know what I'm talking about on bikes. So it's the soles as well. That was therapeutic, that. It really was therapeutic. Okie doke. So, now we've got some colour on, we've got that second coat of yellow on. Move that before I knock it over. I'll just give it a nudge. Shift axis, it's too shiny. That's not. What was I going to say? Yeah, now we've got some colour on. It doesn't look as in-your-face yellow anymore. It's still gaudy. Excuse me. Oh, hello. Froggy the throat again. So, having just gone round now and filled in the black areas that was supposed to fill in, I've just noticed now I've got a tiny little piece of white showing right behind the knee. We've got little spots like around the ankle here, needs to go back in with the blue. Around here, on the back of the ankle, we need to go in with the yellow. But then I've got these spots here. Now on the instructions, that's all decals. But I now know that I've got to paint it in this dark blue colour again. So off camera I'll sort all that out. So it's literally just running that dark blue over the boots and some more yellow up the side here. And then I've got to try and figure out what colour the soles are supposed to be, because on the instructions they're clear.
which means white normally, so I've got to figure that out. So I'll do that off camera. But other than that, I'm happy enough with where that is. There's a couple of touch-ups need doing here and there. It's nothing major, but I'm pretty much happy with that. And then once I've sorted out the touch-ups and it's all dried, we'll get the gloss varnish on, ready for the washes. We're getting in there. We're slowly getting there. Alright, so whilst I'm still waiting for this to dry properly, I'm already thinking about doing the wash and things like that. Now apparently it does turn out that I need to paint these soles black, so we'll use the dark grey for that again, so we can use black as the actual wash. But we're thinking about washing all these kind of things anyway. I've got a decal that goes over here on this bit, and as you can probably see there, right in the centre, there's like the silver dot, because on the boot themselves, just off camera, hang on, where's my thing gone? Right, so on the ankle, hopefully you can make that out, there's like the silver dot. Oh, hang on, what have I done here? I'll throw a photo in, but we've got the silver metal plate across the toe as well, which is just here, and they give you a decal for that too, which is plastic. Zoom out a bit, there we go. So we've got the metal decal there, and hopefully you can see the shine, and then we've got the metal detail in the decal with a few of the black details as well, which will just help things pop that little bit. And that's why I use a dark grey, so when you do use a black it stands out better. Excuse me. So I've got some washes to do. Mickey plating. God, I hate this stuff. I really do hate this stuff. I can't even explain how much I really can't stand that stuff. I mean, that shine just isn't realistic at all. Normally I would strip that off, but I'm actually going to leave that on this time. Normally I would dip this in either bleach or oven cleaning gel, like I did with my C3PO last year, because I genuinely hate this stuff. Some manufacturers manage to put the gate marks where the piece itself attaches to the frames. Right, look at that, it's like 70s TV, it's rubbish. Some manufacturers put this stuff, and it's right in the seam, right in an obvious bit, when they clip it to the they attach it to the frames even, so when you clip it off, you've now got a huge chunk of plastic. I don't think we can catch that in the light. You've got that big nub there now that you need to touch in, but you can't replicate that in your paint. It's rubbish. And I've not paid any attention whatsoever to which way I cut these off. Magic. So I'm just going to trim that nub off there. And what you have to do now as well is on the underside, strip that off with a knife so your glue will take. And so by the time you've messed about doing this kind of thing, and yeah, believe me, that's going through me as well. Yeah. I really do wish they would stop doing this and just give you the bare plastic so you can paint it yourself. Now we do have decals going over the top of this, and we've got to do some detail work anyway with washes, because if you look at the instructions there, we've got ribbing on the back of it right across the knuckles. Just let me see if I can figure out which one goes where. So that fits in that one. To be honest, I don't think this matters too much. Or does it? No, that's a big knuckle. Yep, that's a big knuckle, so that'll be that side. So we've got a big knuckle on here. If you look at the back of your own hand, that knuckle does stand proud of everything else. Because it's the... No, don't do it, don't do it. It's the main working finger. It's true. This finger here does more work than these two fingers put together. Even though you hold a pen like that, it's this one that actually adds the strength to your hand. It's bizarre. It's that one where you get all the grip from. Just in here. Thank you, James. So I'm going to use, because I already know I can use Tamiya cement on that, I'm going to use the tiniest little blob, if I can find me blooming glue. If I can find me blooming glue. He says, yeah, glue, 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 glue. No. Where have you gone? Yeah, hiding behind the alpha and male, aren't you? Naughty glue. Naughty, naughty glue. So instead of using that sodding great big brush there, I'm just going to wipe all the excess off, leave that upside down like so, and I'm going to use a cocking tail stick. Just going to dub some glue in the back here. I've got a little bit more control now than I do with that massive great big brush. This is the thick cement. Where did you go? Which is just here. Pop that over the back there. We'll see how that takes. And then I can varnish all that in one go then, and hopefully dull down some of that blooming shine. So we've got a decal going on the back of there. So I'll just do the same again. Just move that before I knock it over. So yeah, I wish these manufacturers would give us the choice to paint this ourselves. It's like nails on a blackboard. That's why I'm playing nice sound effects over the top. Oh, that's rubbish. So I'm just going to see if I can take off some of that paint there. Get back to the, it's not PTFE at all, is it? TPE, whatever it was. There we go, so that's the base plastic underneath. We'll see how this does. Remember, I make the mistakes that you don't have to. I don't want the end of a broken cookie tail stick in there, so I'll get rid of that. To this side, stop some more in. It's about me 19, there we go, that should be enough. Hoofy voila. Whack that in there, like so. Right. So once they're done, and once they've taken, I'll check them in about half an hour or so. Hopefully that won't be any longer than that. Once that's done, legs will be ready. Torso should be ready. We'll get some gloss varnish on them and have at the washes before. No, do we do the decals first or do we do the washes first? No, I'll do a wash first, then decals, and then rewash if I need to. I'll do it that way. Normally, you'd put your decals on first and then do the washes, but I want to try and get some of that detail in straight away. Probably just about here, the groovy. I don't want to rub too much because I'll take paint off and get some washes into these things here. Just stabilise everything and dull it all down a little bit. Once we get a wash into all these panels here as well on the shin, it'll just take away the eye from, oh god, that's yellow! Because it's a wonderful gaudy colour, it really is. Right, back in a minute. Just had to do it as well. Oh, I had to stick him on there. He's a little bit wobbly, there's nothing quite attached properly yet. That just looks odd at the back of his head, but it looks the part now. It really does look the part. I'm happy with that. That yellow is lovely and outrageous. I love that. So yeah, I'm happy with that. Right, stop messing about, gloss varnish. There we go. I was hoping to get everything in one episode, including the panel line wash, which sadly, yeah, I got nowhere near. And that's where we are at the moment. But everything you've seen me use in the video so far, apart from those, because you've not got to see those yet, but they'll be in the next episode. You get the idea. But I've got none bum from editing. I've been sat there for the best part of 2 hours editing, and it's, oh my word, I've got a number bum. Anyway, everything you see here is available from eModels.co.uk. Bob along, spend some money with them, especially these brushes. You need these brushes. These brushes are gorgeous. They really are, and the bristles on them. I'm just reactivating that again because that's gone dry now. But these brushes, the bristles even. Oh, lovely, 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 lovely. So bob along, see my mates at eModels.co.uk. I've said that already, haven't I? Yeah, you'll get this glue, and you'll get that, and you'll get these, and you get those. Go spend some money with them, I implore you. Right, so next time we come back, I'll stop waffling and making this up as I go along because it's terrible. We'll get the washy type things done, and we'll get some of the highlighting done. Things like that with the oils. We'll make him look absolutely stunning and glorious and ready for the decals. So that's next episode. Join me next time. In the meantime, take care. Love you all. Thank you so much for stopping by. Take care, guys.